We can get in!
So excited.
But it's not painted. Oh my gosh, that paint looks awful. Hey guys, I know you were so excited about seeing the very first time I go into the new classroom, but I really wanted to interrupt this really quick and go ahead and insert this at the very beginning of the video. I am so excited to be working with Jord Wood Watches once again on promoting some of their wonderful watches that they have. And y'all, I'm not just saying that because they're sponsoring this video. I'm saying it because I truly do love their products. They have beautiful, beautiful watches, and I am so excited that they are once again going to give us another $180 e-gift card to one of you. And it is no secret that I am a little bit of a watch hoarder. Like, I like to go out and buy watches. I'm not much of a shoe person, but I do love me a good watch. And what I love the most about their watches is not only are they just have this really nice, clean cut, sleek, timeless design, but they are such great quality. The faces are great quality. The watch is lightweight, and it's something that you can wear all day long without making it feel like you have something really heavy on your wrist. What's also nice is that these watches, the wood is absolutely gorgeous. You can get them in all types of shades, all types of designs, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Not only is it gorgeous for you to buy one for like yourself and for you to be wearing one for yourself, but you could also give this to somebody because it is such a nice, very clean, classic design that anyone would absolutely love to have one of these watches in their collection. So if you are kind of like me and you don't really like to like wait for your watch, because I am not one that likes to wait to see if I'm gonna win an actual giveaway, Jord is actually giving each viewer on this channel $25 off of their purchase. So you can actually use the link down below to go and check out those watches if you end up finding one that you absolutely love, which I would actually recommend a few of them. The new Hyde series is absolutely beautiful. I would also recommend the Frankie, which is this series that I am actually wearing right now. There's a Frankie 35 series, which is really beautiful, and it has a little bit of a smaller face. And then there's also the Fieldcrest series that I absolutely love. They have some really pretty champagne colors, y'all. That's on my little wish list that I have going on right now. I really like the zebra wood that they have for the actual band. Go and check those out because they're absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend getting one for your collection. But they're offering $25 off of a discount, so go and check out their watches. Use the discount code down below. Make sure that you use that so you can get that $25 credit, and then make sure that you're also entering in to win the $180 e-gift card. So follow the link down below so that you can enter to win one of these beautiful Jord watches. They have free shipping worldwide. So my Australia people, my people that are living in the UK, hey, you could get free shipping worldwide. How amazing is that? So make sure that you're going to check it out. It is not only for US people, it is worldwide. So I know that you were really, really excited about going and seeing this new classroom. So have fun. I hope you guys are having a really, really great weekend, but I hope you also enjoy looking and getting a peek into my very new room. Bye. Good morning, everyone. So my voice has gotten not any better since I've been back from the beach, but it is Monday morning and I have the curriculum rewrite today, tomorrow, and on Wednesday. So you guys will be joining me to do that, and some really exciting fun things are going to be happening throughout the week. I'm hoping that I can get back into my classrooms so you guys can see what rooms that we have, and I can kind of unveil like the before piece of it, which is like the crazy hot mess that it's going to be. But that's going to be exciting. So I am on my way to go to the curriculum rewrite, which is at our district central office. And then that's pretty much an all-day event. I'm pretty sure that we get a lunch period, and during that lunch period, myself and one of my partners who is also on the curriculum rewrite, we're going to be going back to our school because it's literally like 3 minutes away. We're going to be going back to our school so that you guys can check out a little bit of our room, and we can kind of start getting some planning ideas in, because it's going to be a crazy busy summer. We have a lot of things that we need to get accomplished. So I'm so excited that you guys are going to be joining me on this. So later this week, I have a my second partner. I don't know how I should like label them. Partner one, partner two, like the original partner, and then the second partner. I don't know how to say it. Anyways, so my original partner, she is having kind of like a get together for some of the 4th grade teachers. So we are going to go to the cabin that she has, like her family has a cabin. So we're gonna go to the cabin and spend a few days there, and then I'll be back on Saturday. So lots of crazy busy stuff, but after this I'm hoping that everything will start to die down a little bit. I had the biggest fit last night because my iPhone completely shattered. I posted it on Instagram. Here's the picture. But I posted this on Instagram. I was so distraught last night with my iPhone breaking. Like, it literally, y'all, it fell from my bed to the floor, and like I don't even have anything, I don't have a tall bed at all. Like, it's pretty low. And it fell from my bed to the floor, but it hit the big light that I have. It's like a big metal light that I have right next to my bed. It hit that edge and it completely shattered it. So today I have my husband's phone because he is gonna go and try to figure out if we can just get it fixed or if we just need to replace it, one or the other. I'm not really sure which one he wants to do. I was like, just deal with it, because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do it. I'm hoping that my voice gets a little bit better later on. So anyways, let's get going because I need to be there in like 10-15 minutes, which will be fine. So I will see you guys later.
At Principal Miller, let's go with him. Celebrate the start of summer with coaster rides and Hershey's.
All right, so I just made it, and I'm watching people get out of their cars like a little stalker, and I'm sure that they can see me. Anyways, I honestly do not know what to expect with today. I don't know how this is gonna happen, what's going to be put together, what am I gonna be doing today. So I brought together, they asked us to bring some resources, so I brought a few resources that I have. A lot of them are on the computer as far as things that I do, especially with like I can statements, which I'm very, very passionate about. So we'll see how it all goes. I will touch base with you guys once we are on break, and wish me luck on my first day. So we are just getting out of the curriculum, like we're having our lunch break right now, and we decided to come to the school because we had word that our rooms could be actually finished being cleaned. So that means that we can get started doing stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys the room that we are in. Give me a second. Let me show you like from where my room is. Here's perspective. That little banner right there is my room. Here is where we are both going to be. So you walk into the room, automatically to your left, and you have 2 big cabinets here. Then you have some smaller ones up here with a huge whiteboard all the way around. And then we have a TV, some space down here. We got big windows, and then this back part is the part that we love, because this back part has another whiteboard with more cabinets. So this is a teacher space, and then that over there is going to be a teacher space. So now we have that, and then we have all this cabinets and space over here, which is phenomenal. And then we have the 2 closets here, which is also great. Oh, they got all the writing off. How the heck did they do that? That's awesome. There was actually writing on these doors for some reason, with like somebody did it with a Sharpie and they got it off. That looks great. So yes, so this is the room. It is huge, y'all. This room is huge. Let me go stand in a corner so you can see. So I'm gonna stand over here in this little corner. But like, check out this room. So that would be a teacher space over there. Some like learning spaces, and then you're gonna have another teacher space over here. Huge. They're gonna paint some of these walls up here because they're awful. Like the one over here on this side is way worse than this one, but huge, huge, huge. So I ended up calling my other partner teacher, and I asked her if I can go ahead and start moving some furniture, and she said yes. So I'm very excited. I'm gonna go ahead and start moving some things around to hopefully start to make this place look a little bit like a classroom. Yay! We got a few of the areas done. We're still trying to work on a couple things back here. My hope is to be able to come back pretty soon to be able to start unpacking some of these things, because that'll start relieving a little bit of the stress that we have going on, because we have a very big chore ahead of us at the beginning of the year. Ugh. So I think the biggest thing that I really want to accomplish this week, just kind of coming in and out of my classroom, is number one, getting all the boxes unpacked. And then number two, just making sure that I have like the setup. I really want to make sure that the desks and stuff are in place, because then we're going to start doing the decorating a little bit later on once we have all of the materials that we need to get, and then we can focus on that part. But I feel like the setup is one of the hardest, because you have to kind of move and think about arrangements and think about, okay, do we have spaces for the kids to line up? And are there, you know, are they all going to be crowded all in one spot to get one of the materials? Like, we have to kind of think all of those little things through before we can actually be really happy with the way we have it set up. So I had to end up making some changes, because the original design plan that we had was not working out. There was just not enough space for it. And even now, like one of my partner's spaces that's in the back corner it's really tight, so I'm gonna have to kind of reconfigure some things. And there's a lot of boxes right now, so that's kind of coming into play at the moment too. But we're gonna reconfigure some things and hopefully get this to be able to flow and work out perfect for us. So y'all, I'm really sorry about my voice. My voice has gotten worse. We had the curriculum thing this morning, and as the day went on, my voice just kept getting worse and worse because I'm sitting there talking, which, by the way, it actually turned out to be really, really good. I'm very excited about the way that we're doing the curriculum, and it still leaves me room to be able to do some of the things that I do and to really incorporate me as a teacher and how I like to run things in my classroom. But at the same time, like, it's really going to be beneficial, especially for some of those first-year teachers that are coming in and they really don't understand curriculum all that well, and they're having to do this whole, you know, mass customized learning piece to it. This whole way that we're doing things is really going to benefit them in the long run. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday and my voice still sounds like a frog. I sound like a frog, or like an old man. I don't know. It's fine. I'm gonna deal with it. I feel fine. Like, I'm okay, which is good. So it is day 2 of the curriculum rewrite, and I'm very excited. It's gonna be a very busy day. Y'all, yesterday, I think I left out of there so incredibly drained and so exhausted, but I was so excited to get into that classroom and to be able to move some things around a little bit. I can't really tell you guys like everything like for real right now, but there's some things that are going to be happening in July that's going to prevent me from being into my classroom a ton. If you're patron people, you already know what it is. I'm very excited about it. So if all goes well and everything happens, I will tell you guys the very 1st of July. So it'll happen that week. But yes, so I have some things that are happening in July that's going to prevent me from being in the classroom. So I'm trying to get a little bit of the things done that I want to get done in June. And that's going to be like your basic, like just putting up the boxes, putting the classroom furniture where it needs to be. I would like to maybe get some walls up, but I'm not going to be like gung-ho trying to get walls up, because I will have to make time in July. It's just like for the first like 1-2 weeks, it's going to be, or maybe even 3 weeks, it's going to be jam-packed for me. And especially with us having a multi-age classroom, and this is going to be the first year for that, we really want to make sure that we're spending a lot of the time sitting down really and truly planning and mapping things out, versus us like spending a lot of our time right before the beginning of the year trying to get our classrooms put up. So that is probably why you guys probably think I'm insane. I know I'm insane. I'm just trying to plan things out so that I'm not so stressed out. Y'all, I cannot handle being stressed out the beginning of the year. Like, the beginning of the year already has a ton of stresses as it is, because you're getting a ton of paperwork from admin, you have your new kids in there, you're trying to learn them, you're kind of lazy because you've been, not lazy per se, but you get tired pretty easily. Like, your voice starts to go in and out. It's that time of being getting sick again. Like, it's just a lot of things that are happening that very beginning of the year. So I don't like to be stressed, which is why I'm in my classroom right now. And y'all, there's something therapeutic for me about being in a classroom and just being able to like organize it and decorate it. Like, I actually enjoy it. Like, it's really, really fun and I love it. Like, that's like one of the best parts for me, is being able to do that with my classroom. So that's why I'm doing it. Please don't think I'm insane. But next week you probably will see a little bit more of the classroom. We are gonna go to the classroom for lunch today. So I did pack my lunch, and we are gonna try to get a couple of things done. I'm pretty happy with the setup that I have right now. It's just a matter of like unloading boxes and figuring out where we're gonna combine 3 teacher stuff, because that's a lot of stuff for 3 teachers. So that's gonna be kind of our goal for lunch today. But curriculum went really well yesterday. I'm just kind of exhausted from it. And I feel like we have to cram a lot of stuff in before lunch, because y'all, once we got back from lunch, we were so off task. We were not motivated, nor like, they need to make these half-day things and make it for an entire week instead of 3 days, because I think that we're a little bit more productive like before that lunchtime, because after that lunchtime hit, everybody was done. So yes, so that's kind of the game plan. I need to unload my car. Like, I still have not unloaded my car from school. Okay, so day 2 of being inside of the classroom, where I am unpacking some of the things. My voice is not as bad, right? Like, it doesn't sound totally awful. Maybe there's a little bit of light under at the end of the tunnel. Let's hope by the end of the week, like, I am sounding semi-normal. So I did get quite a few of the boxes unpacked, and then I started moving a few other things around. I did put the cover onto the couch that we have back here, and I really like this setup, y'all. I'm digging the setup. There are a couple of things that I do need to move into here as far as like furniture pieces, but most of them are like the big cabinets, the IKEA cabinets that I have over there in my other room. We're gonna actually place those here, which I love those IKEA cabinets. Or I guess it's like a drawer system, not even a drawer system. I don't know, it's a cube system. Okay, so I have those that I need to put there. And then my partner teacher actually made a spot for math manipulative. So let me kind of show that to you. Back here in this little back corner, it's almost gonna be like a sitting area, because we're not gonna have a ton of space. We might be able to put some stools here, but I'm not sure yet. So here are some of the math manipulatives. So she kind of stuck some of the cards in there. Each one of them is kind of labeled with some of the themes, money, and then she has, you know, all kinds of little manipulatives that the students can come over here and grab. And what's nice is it's kind of out of the way, but at the same time, the students can easily access any of the math materials that they need. So I think this is going to be a really good one. And then she had, you know, some of the bigger ones for like the clocks and the base 10 blocks, those types of things. But that's kind of where we decided to put it for right now. Let's hope that it ends up staying there. That TV is going to end up moving somewhere else. It's not staying in that corner. And then I do have a few other little bits and pieces that I do need to move around. But for the most part, over here, everything else is getting there. I do want to show you my little area back here, because I think it looks so stinking cute. So look at this little area. I needed to show that it was magnetic, so I put that there. But I have, of course, like I stand and live by this thing. This is one of the very first things that I always put up in my classroom. But it's my filing system, so whenever I get papers that I need to organize, I will place them into these, and it has like the inbox, the waiting requires attention, to file, and then to copy or to cut. And then my binders, which I'm gonna end up revamping my binders this summer. So I'm gonna be showing you guys some of the things that I'm doing with my binders as I am changing them up a little bit to kind of fit for 4th grade. And then this, it's a cute little map. Look at that. Isn't that cute? It's magnetic. So that little area is good. I don't have anything inside of these cabinets. These are things that I need to kind of figure out what is it that I want to put in those. But for the most part, it looks really cute. Curriculum is going really well, in case you guys are wondering, because I know you are probably like, oh, Bridget, what's curriculum doing? Curriculum is going actually really well. We pretty much got done everything that we needed to get done today. Tomorrow is going to be a lot, just kind of revamping it, making sure everything flows correctly as far as flowing through grade levels. But it's going really well. I'm very excited with it. I'm not as tired today as I was yesterday, mainly because I did have a Diet Coke, but that's okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put away some of these boxes, because I do need to get all this stuff sorted. Okay, so new battery, everything's good. I've gotten quite a bit done. Not as much as what I was hoping that I would be able to get done, but I did get quite a bit done. So I got a lot of the boxes that were back here in this little corner area pretty much unpacked. A lot of it's like containers and things like that we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with. So because we do have 2 rooms, we're gonna be splitting a lot of the materials between the 2 rooms. We have 4 teachers. One of them is gonna be like a push-in teacher that's gonna come and help us for certain hours of the day. And then there's 3 of us that are like, we're constantly in the rooms. So we're gonna have to kind of figure out exactly what we're gonna do. I think what we ended up deciding to do is, because we have a ton of book club, like book club books, like book sets, we need to figure out where we were gonna put them all. So we ended up deciding, because she has an exact, my other teacher that's on the other side has an exact same area just like this, that we were gonna just stick all of like the book club books inside of. So this entire area here is going to be dedicated to those book sets, so that we'd have enough spots to be able to kind of fill those in. I did put back here in this little like corner area, in this spot I have a lot of the games, so all of the games for indoor recess, those types of things are going to be in here so the kids can easily access them. I figured that would be a really good spot for that. I do not have anything inside of those just yet, but I'm gonna kind of plan those out, hopefully. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I put all of the boxes that have books over here in this little area, because those books are going to end up going in a lot of these drawers. So we're gonna end up taking these drawers off, just like I had in my other room. We're gonna take these off and place all of the books here. So we're gonna have very specific like book genres that are gonna go in certain rooms here. Like in this room, I think we have like historical fiction, we have realistic fiction. I think fantasy was one of the other ones that we're gonna have in there. So we're getting all that kind of stuff planned out. Once I have all of this stuff kind of packed up and like put up and put away, and then I'm gonna have to start going into my room, taking out things out of my closets and figuring out where some of those go. Because, let me kind of walk you guys over there, because some of those back like cabinets or look at all those tables. If you ever want to see what a school looks like during the summertime, this is what it looks like as they're trying to clean out rooms. Okay, so these back cabinet doors back here are going to have to end up getting emptied out, because a lot of the kids' materials are going to go back here. So like everything that's inside of this one right here needs to get unpacked. Like, y'all, it's a hot mess right now because I ended up moving some of the stuff, but I never moved all of it. So that needs to get unpacked. That, for the most part, needs to all get unpacked. Like, all of that is my stuff that needs to get taken out and moved. Same thing here, where I just have like, I have some of my book club books, I have all of the games, things like that. All of this stuff needs to end up getting moved out. So there's quite a bit of things that need to get moved out and changed around, which is what I'm gonna have to do once I finish getting everything else unpacked, because I don't want to take out stuff, move stuff in when I don't even have the other stuff put up yet. Makes sense? See, look, there's my room. There's the new room. This is my room. My room, new room. Not far at all. I'm very happy with my little area. Very, very happy. Just, I look over it and it makes me feel happy. Look at that. Look at how cute that little area is. Precious. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday and my voice is probably the worst that it's been all week. So I feel totally fine. I just sound awful, which is really bad. A couple of things happened to me this morning. One, I came into a huge fight with the dry shampoo, and I'm trying to conceal where it sprayed white because I was too lazy to go and wash my hair. I'm not washing my hair today. And it ended up spraying a bunch of white up here. So I'm gonna try to conceal that as much as possible. That's why I did this weird little half whatever I did. Anyways, so that happened. Two, I don't wanna wear pants. I'm just adamant that I do not wanna dress like I have to go to school and we can't wear jeans. So I opted for a very long dress that I had at the beach, and a jean jacket, and hopefully that's gonna be okay for me to wear. I need to get something to eat and then have something for lunch later on. So I need to figure something like that out. So today is the last day for the curriculum rewrite. And for some of you, I realized that I never really explained to you exactly what a curriculum rewrite is. So essentially what they do is they select representatives from across your district or your county, and they will pick them from different grade levels. And then those grade levels will come together, and during this time they're looking at standards and they're trying to develop some type of pacing guide or something for you to be able to use in your classroom, so that everybody's kind of on the exact same page as far as what standards are you teaching and how are you going to be teaching it. So what we've been doing is our rating specialist did a phenomenal job with getting together some kind of our template and how we wanted to kind of group our units. And so what we've been doing is, as a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade team, all of us teachers together, we've been looking at what does it look like to be a little bit different for each of those standards across 4th, 5th, and 6th, because they are so similar, but we need to make sure that we're teaching things a little bit differently. So it's been absolutely phenomenal working and doing this with them, and it's been really, really great. I'm very excited about it, and I think this is really going to be beneficial for our district and for our teachers. So it's a great, great thing. So I really wanted to sit down and talk with you guys a little bit about room arrangement and how I kind of think about the whole planning and setting up, and how did I come up with my theme, and then how in the world am I coming up with my, you know, the things that I'm going to be putting into my classroom, because I feel like that's a really big important piece. A lot of people kind of approach it and they don't know where to start, so they typically go to, like, you know, those teachers, like the teacher stores, they go to Teachers Pay Teachers, because they're looking for things that they can kind of just start printing and, you know, laminating and start cutting and putting those things up. And that's all well and good too, but if you want to be just a little bit different and you want to have that classroom that just kind of stands out from all the other classrooms that are just your typical, like, cookie cutter, not even like cookie cutter, but if you want to stand out from like your typical, you know, you go to the store and you buy all of the borders and you buy all of the, you know, the butcher papers and that type of thing, and you know, you're going to Teachers Pay Teachers and you're looking for those posters, that type of classroom, and you want to get a little bit away from that classroom, Pinterest is always a really, really great place to start. But you can also incorporate a lot of the things that you are really, really interested in. So some of the things that I knew that when we were sitting down and as teachers, we were talking about, you know, what are the things that we really wanted to be like. We knew that we had 3 classrooms. We knew that we wanted to differentiate between the 3 classrooms, because teachers are not going to be in just one classroom. So we wanted to make it into you're going to be going to this room and then you're going to be going into this room. So we wanted to give the rooms their own little small identity almost. And we were kind of playing with that idea. And so where it all first started was, we have one teacher that is like totally gung-ho Disney. She loves Disney World, is all about it. And she said, well, what if we made like different lands? And we did Disneyland, and we had, like, you know, you had your Adventureland and you had this type of land. But she also knew that we had this piece where my partner teacher really, really loved the woods and that homey feel. I loved that fantasy aspect to it, you know, the Harry Potter feel that I had in my room. So we also wanted to make sure that we incorporated a lot of those things. So one of the first things that I would say to you is to figure out what is one thing that you really, really love. What is something that you really kind of, how you want to have your class represented? How do you want to portray things that you love and that you enjoy, and kind of put that into your classroom? Y'all, I promise you, if you are enthusiastic about it and you love it, your kids are going to love it, and they're going to be enthusiastic about it, because that energy kind of radiates from you. And it really is one of those things that if you are smiling and you are happy, I bet you $5 that that person that is looking at you right now is smiling and they are happy and they're in a good mood, because that energy just kind of radiates and people just kind of get it and they soak it all in. So that's the great thing about our job, is I feel like we have that opportunity to do that. And so you have this opportunity in this classroom to create this space that you love and that you enjoy and you are really like excited and motivated about it. Put it with things that you really like. If you're a sports person, hey, go all out with sports. Girls like sports. There is nothing that says that a girl cannot like sports. There are definitely some ways that you can incorporate some girly things with some sports stuff. And there's all kinds of ways that you can go out there and you can make things glittery and you can make things fun for girls. But you know, incorporate things that you are also teaching. You know, if you are that science teacher and you want to make it into a very sciencey room, you know, if you want to go like mad scientist, if you want to go into like futuristic science, if you want to go into like life sciences, those types of things, you can definitely incorporate all of that. So when we knew that we wanted to have like these 3 different like lands almost, we started off with Disneyland, but then we kind of started getting away from it just a little bit because it wasn't fitting all of our likes. So we're having to please 3 teachers at the same time. So we went from that and we found this one pin from Pinterest, and I'm gonna show it to you right here. So we found this pin from Pinterest, and this pin from Pinterest had these books, and they were like an or it was an arch of books, and it said Once Upon a Time. And we said, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Once Upon a Time, it has kind of like that Disney theme of it, you know, where it's the fairy tales, the story tales. We all love literature, we all love books, we are all into that piece of it. Why not really incorporate that Once Upon a Time feel? So somewhere down the lines, we really want to create this arch, and we're going to see if we're going to actually be able to get that done before the beginning of the year. But that's kind of where our idea stemmed from. We said this would be really, really cool. So if we have like this Once Upon a Time theme, and we have these 3 rooms, we can make these 3 rooms really, really different based off of genres, because that's how we teach. We teach based off of these genres, and there are so many different genres out there. Well, we said, you know, the ones that are 3 that are extremely distinct with, you know, characteristics and colors and that type of thing is like that historical, which is like that past history type feel, the fantasy, which is very make-believe and dragons and that type feel, and then you have that science fiction, which is the very futuristic, and we almost incorporate a little bit of that informational piece into that too. But all of that kind of said, oh, that's exactly what it is. So then what we did is we started looking at color schemes. So you know those people who go out and they make those really pretty color schemes, like literally you can go out to like Google and you can Google like Harry Potter color schemes. That's exactly how I did it last year. I Googled Harry Potter color schemes, and it worked out perfect. Bells ringing. But you could also go on there and just Google like different color schemes. And so we started looking for color schemes that would fit each of the rooms. And so we said that the fantasy room is still going to keep its same feel that we have now, but we're just going to embellish it a little bit more by adding a lot more like of the dragons and the fairies and the moss and the woodsy kind of like enchanted forest feel is what we're going for there. And then in this room, which is going to be the historical fiction room, it's going to be that old time, back in the past type feel to it. So we're incorporating a lot of the woods and a lot of the, you know, the magnifying glasses, and the maps are going to be incorporated into this to give it that very old timey historical feel, like you're going back into, you know, 1700s, which is going to be really cool. And then for the science fiction room, we knew that we said, when you think science fiction, my head automatically thinks like Star Wars, you know what I mean? So when I think science fiction, I see things that are very streamlined, straight cut. So we looked for color schemes for each of those. So this room is going to, because we already have certain colors in it, and if you notice, like, let me kind of turn you around. If you notice with our cabinets, they're kind of maroon. Y'all, this ended up working out so perfect, because before we even knew what rooms we were in, we were already starting to kind of plan out these themes. But when we found out that we had this room, we said, oh my gosh, this is going to be so perfect, because you have that really deep maroon color that lends itself so beautifully to this historical fiction piece. So we're taking that deep maroon color, we're bringing in the woods, we're bringing in the galvanized metals, the silvers, that type of thing, and it's going to be very, very cool at the very end. Like, almost think of a historical, like, not historical, but almost think of like an old time map. How cool is that? Like, that's kind of the colors that you're going to see in there. That deep maroon, you know, that creams, and the slight tints of like yellows and the silvers and the browns. That's what's going to be incorporated here. It's very much like that homey, earthy feel to it. And then when we thought historical fiction, well, we automatically think plants is the first thing that we come to, you know. And I was thinking very clean cut, streamlined, straight lines, that type of thing. And so we ended up saying, well, if I think about space in my head, I think about, you know, like almost a black background, but it having all of these different planets on it. I also think a lot about the white countertops, the white chairs, the white tables, the, you know, white frames, that type of thing, and then having like these little bits of pops of color, like the light blue. What's really, really cool, because that room itself, the floor and the cabinets are light blue, which is really nice, like almost the color of this jean jacket, which is really cool. So that ended up working out so perfect. So now we have these 3 very, very distinct rooms. So once we had that piece, we kind of started mapping and planning things out, and we went to like on paper and started thinking, well, what are the furniture pieces that we already have that we know we're going to be able to take out from my room, which is now going to be pretty much emptied, except for the embellishment pieces that we're going to do to it for the houses and the little areas like that. But we're going to take that furniture and then incorporate it into the other 2. So we took with furniture that we already had, because we have 3 teacher stuff coming together, y'all. That's a lot of stuff. So we came together, pictured out all of the stuff that we have coming, like that we are putting and combining into 2 little rooms, and we started mapping things out. Well, we know that, like, as teachers, we have certain ways that we like to teach within a small group setting. So we really wanted to make sure that that was kind of present in our rooms. We wanted to make sure that we had those distinct areas for those teacher spaces that would really kind of optimize some of that learning for the small groups, and whether we're doing math, whether we're doing writing, whether we're doing reading, those types of things. And my partner teacher and I from last year, y'all gonna have to come up with themes. You're gonna have to help me come up with themes for them, because I don't know what to call them. I'm calling them both partner teachers because they are. I don't know how to distinct between the two. So partner 1 said that, you know, we both like to have the lower desks down on the ground, because we can have kids sit behind it, we can have kids sit on top of it, we can have kids sit in front of it, which lends itself really well to all of the different subject areas. So we have both of those areas present in the classroom. My other partner teacher in the other room has like a small group area. So she actually has a small group area, but then she also has one area which is a little bit more chillaxed, is like what I like to call it, because there are couches. And I'm gonna go show you that in a second. Actually, let's go now. Oh, I don't think I can get into her room. I can't get into her room because it's locked. Sorry, so I cannot get into her room because it's locked. And I'm not about to go hunt down people, I'm so sorry. So she has like one little area that has kind of couches that are just very chillaxed, where you can kind of sit with couches. There's some desks that are around it, which makes it really nice and cozy and comfy. It's almost like that Lucy Calkins feel, where you're just kind of sitting around a little, you know, coffee shop little area, and you're just sitting down talking with each other. That's that feel that she went there. So she has those 2 spaces that her and the teacher that will be pushing into that room can be able to switch. So once we had like the teacher spaces, then we started thinking, okay, now how are we gonna do student spaces? There were a couple of different things that we needed to keep in mind, and these are some things that you may want to keep in mind when you're planning out your new room. We wanted to keep in mind that we had our flexible seating. We wanted to make sure that the seating that we were using from this last year was also going to be incorporated into this year. So we took a lot of, you know, again, the furniture that we already had, and we started kind of splitting them up, because we knew that there was some furniture that just fit better in the historical fiction room, where some of the other furniture fits better in the science fiction room. So we had the furniture that we were going to be using as a list written down, and we said, okay, well, how are we going to seat it? So one of the first things that we really wanted to make sure that we were keeping track of is that we were able to, in our area where we sit, is we want to make sure that we can see every single one of those students. We want to make sure that there is not a single spot in that classroom where they are going to be able to hide. Now, it's a little bit different for us because we have 2 teachers, so we have 2 different areas. There's one in the front and one in the back, which makes it a little bit easier because she can see things that I can't see, and I can see things that she can't see. So that's really good for us. But if you're in a classroom and you're the only teacher that's in there, make sure that there is nowhere that those kids can hide and get into a corner and be able to turn their backs to you, or something to that extent. Like, you want to make sure that you can see them at all times, because y'all, let me tell you, the moment that you give them an opportunity to be able to go and hide in a little corner and do something that they're not supposed to be doing, they're gonna do it. So you need to be on top of that, and you need to think proactively and make sure that you're pinpointing every little bitty area of where they could be sitting. So sit in your little spot that you have in your room. Designate that spot first. Designate the spot that you are going to be sitting in first, and then I want you to stop back and I want you to look around your room and say, where can these kids hide? Where can these kids get into little corners so that I wouldn't be able to see them? And then that's where you're going to have to kind of make sure that you're moving some of that furniture so that you can be able to see everybody at the exact same time. So we wanted to incorporate that, making sure that we could, that line of sight, that's what I was looking for. We wanted to make sure that we can incorporate that line of sight. Then we also wanted to make sure that we incorporated that flexible seating, which we do have. We have the couches. The kids love the couches, y'all. I know teachers hate the couches. Kids love the couches. They are so happy to be on those couches. So long as you are proactive about it at the beginning of the year and you set those expectations from the very beginning of the year, absolutely you're going to have to remind them a lot throughout the year to be using them correctly. Absolutely you're going to have to break up some of those arguments, but I promise you, it is such a great thing to have in your side of your room. They're going to love it. So we wanted to make sure that we incorporated that. But we also wanted to make sure that we incorporated the opportunities for kids to be able to work independently, partners, and then also in groups. So we also have some of those things too. Let me show you what I actually mean. So here's my little diagram of my classroom. If you can see that this is the front, so this is the front board. Oop, let me see. Here we go. This is the front board, okay? This is where we're at right now. So this is me. Boom, me. All right, this is where my little area is right here. That's, whoops, that's this little area, okay? There's the door. This is me. So, me, here's that, and then here, my friends, is the door, okay? When you're looking at the very front of the room, we have a table here. So I have the opportunity to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I actually have a stool right here. And there is a TV. There is an area for collaboration. We want to give students the opportunity to be able to work in groups and be able to utilize that TV in case they're working on some type of a project together, in case they're working on some type of a makerspace together. They have the opportunity to be able to use that resource so that all of them are sharing that exact same thing. So there's 5 that I can stick right there automatically, okay? The other thing that I want you to note is if you're looking over here, and this is where that table is, okay? So we have this table right here. There's the 4. There's the 5 that can be collaborating there. We also have a little shelf over here that we're going to be able to put some student materials so that they're able to use right there. So they have those as materials that they're going to be able to get to. You're also going to notice that I put a big, huge shelf up on here because we are going to have some young adult literature because we have a range from 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So in 6th grade, they have some that are young adult literature. We're going to put the young adult literature up here so that we can make sure that the kids who are supposed to be reading those books are actually, you know, I have the opportunity to grab those books. But for some of those kids that, you know, it's just not appropriate for them to be reading it at that age, we're going to make sure that that's a spot that they can't get to. So that's what that's going to be there for. And then we're going to use the spots on either side to be able to incorporate some other things as well. So there's one space right here. It's not far from where I'm sitting, so they're not going to be disturbing me, but it's going to be a good opportunity for me to be watching and listening to conversations that are happening here and be able to assist them with anything they need while at the same time I'm working within a small group area. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so let's go back to the drawing board. All right, so now we have this space for me, this space for collaboration. Then you have this table. Y'all, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people can sit there, okay? So it's a great opportunity for you to be working in partners. All right, people keep coming in. Anyways, so you have the opportunity to be able to work in partners, and then you also have the opportunity for them to work in a group spot. So that's going to be a great area for collaboration as well. Then you have this little couch area, which will fit 2, but I promise you they will definitely try to fit 3 bodies there. Again, another great spot for them to be able to work collaboratively, or they can work independently within that little area. So that's what we have here. So we have this little area which we need to get 2 chairs for over here, which I think we're just going to do some type of stool. But then we have this little couch area for them to be able to work. But y'all, the kids love to work on this thing too. So they can definitely sit around it and be able to work on the floor. And we're going to have some cushions that we usually keep right here in this little spot down here. And they can sit around it and be able to work onto this table, which actually works out so perfectly. Okay, so moving along. Already, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then I can even add a couple more, 16, 17, if you want to say. So 17 kids so far that can fit within this space. Then we have these 2 tables that are faced like this. They're actually like combined as one big rectangle. It can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12 kids on it if we want it to be that way. But we could also split these desks up if they need to work within other groups and have more area for them to be kind of split up so that they are not kind of, you know, trying to talk over each other. So it works out perfect. And that's this one that's right here with all the junk that's on top of it. And we're just going to put some stools around it so that the kids can be able to sit there. And I think that's going to be a great addition to the classroom. Then back here in the little bitty corner, you see this little circle with a weird C in it. This is one of the little chairs. So this is actually an individual chair here, but there's actually 2 little bitty tables that you could definitely just split those 2 apart and have 2 little spots for kids to be able to sit on the floor and have an area for them to be able to work. Back here where the whiteboard, there's like a whiteboard space over here. This is the other little load desk area, and this is where my partner 1 is going to be. Okay, so partner 1 is here. This is her desk area, and this is where students are going to sit. Y'all, kids can sit here when we are not working with them. But if you are thinking, I don't know how to write X's. Look at all that potential spaces for kids to be able to work, to be able to collaborate, to be able to work independently. It doesn't matter. Like I've had kids who sit here and they work independently. I've had kids who sit here and work independently. But there's so much area and so much versatility for them to be able to kind of flow into, and it just works out perfect. Initially, when we first planned this room, we had planned it that the couch was going to look that direction into the windows. This table was going to be back here, but once we started getting into the room, we realized that it wasn't going to be able to work. So we were very happy with the way this actually ended up flowing out, because I think it works the absolute best, and it really enhances the spaces while also making sure that it's not looking cluttered at the exact same time. So I'm really excited about the way that this room is actually coming up together already. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. So here's the big table right here, and I'm come pull you this direction over here. So here's this big table, the two tables that are put together, but you could definitely have one here and then split the other one up if you need. But I really like this big thing as another big space, so that if I wanted to meet with a huge group and we all wanted to sit down at a table, I could definitely just pull up a seat and I can have this big huge second group that was going on. Or if I wanted a student to be able to initiate some type of a collaboration or be able to kind of pull a lesson together, they can definitely use that space to be able to do that. So it works out perfect, and I really, really like this. And we're gonna have some little areas, some little items here in the middle with some of this galvanized metal that's like from Walmart. This is like really in right now, but we're gonna have some like pencils and just materials for them to be able to use when they are collaborating here. Back here in this corner, this is the little chair that I was telling you about. So there's that brown chair that's there, but y'all, these little bitty tables that are from Walmart, you could definitely just split those in half, and then one person could be using one table to work, and the other one could be using the other table to work. So it actually works out really, really well. We also have little space up here. This whole thing is going to be emptied. Like, even though we do have these containers down here, the kids can definitely just pull up a stool right here, and they have plenty of space to be able to work on these shelves if they want to work independently. We also use these, which I'm pretty sure you can find at like a dollar store if you go to like a Five Below or something to that extent. But the kids love working on these. They find a spot throughout the room. They find a little spot like on a wall or somewhere that they want to sit, and they take these, and it's a great little space for them to be able to work on. So this is another option that we're going to be keeping within the classroom for them to be able to use. Here's that second teacher space that I'm telling you about. So there's one teacher space that's all the way over there in the very front of the building, in the front on the opposite corner, and then in the other corner all the way over here in the very back, you have a second teacher space, which works out perfect because you're not going to have us kind of talking over each other, which is great. But she also has the lower desks, which whenever she's not working with groups and students are just working independently, they can definitely just use this as a space to be able to work by themselves. And then she has kind of her little teacher space back here with those closets that are going to be meant for her belongings back there as well. Like, as much of the planning that we tried to get done before we were actually in this room, I'm glad that we did it, because we were able to kind of get an idea together of what it was that we wanted to have within our classroom. We knew that whenever we did come in, it wasn't going to be picture perfect. Like, we were going to have things that we were going to have to improve on and kind of rethink, and we did have a little bit of that, but for the most part, y'all, like, this actually turned out to be exactly what we wanted it to be, minus the fact that this couch right here is now looking into the classroom, and it's not looking out. Now remember, I was talking about some of that line of vision. She's sitting here. She can see everybody that's right here. She can see everybody that's over here. She can see everyone that's over here. Where I'm sitting, I can see everyone that is over here in this little area. So there will always be a teacher that can see every single student. Well, not every student, but there will be one of us that can see the students at every time. If I was in a classroom by myself, this setup would not be happening. This setup would not be taking place, because I wouldn't be able to see what the kids were doing behind that couch. And I don't want them back there doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. I want to make sure that they're on task, and in order for me to make sure that they're on task, I need to have my eyes on them at all times, because we know that as teachers, we're sitting down and we're just watching. We're like hawks. We got our eyes on every single kid at one time. You know what I mean? So you have to keep some of those things into perspective, and you just kind of walk around your room and you just kind of check things out and be like, that's gonna be a spot. Because I can already tell you, let me show you this. Like, even without furniture, y'all, that little corner is one little spot where a kid would have been hiding. If I was in this room by myself, I would have to figure out, what am I gonna do to make sure that no kid is gonna be sitting in that little bitty corner? Because they're definitely gonna try to put their back against this little spot, face that way, so that if I was up here, I would never be able to see what they were doing. So that is one little spot that I would have to make sure I would have an eye on. So that means that my space would be over here so that I could constantly keep an eye over here. Get my thinking? We definitely have a lot of things to kind of think through whenever you are planning out your room. And I hope some of this was kind of an idea of what could you do in your room to kind of pre-plan if you're not already in it, but if you are, you know, already in summer mode, but you're kind of already thinking about your classroom. Y'all know how teachers are. We get off in summertime and the first thing we want to do is decorate our classrooms back all together, because that just releases some of that stress for us. You know, we get our classrooms decorated and then we can worry about all the other crazy stuff that we have to deal with for the rest of the year, because we have a lot to do at the beginning of the year. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I am sweating like crazy in this classroom. It is so hot. Like, I know you hear like a fan that's coming in right now, but y'all, it is hot in here. So I am gonna go ahead and skip out. I hope that this was very, very beneficial for all of you, and I hope that you enjoyed being able to see the new classroom and the little bit of the setup that I have already started to take place now. I am not gonna be into my classroom until next week, so I'm gonna see you guys next week for another vlog to show you guys what it is that I'm doing. I'm gonna start taking over some of the things from my old room and bringing them over here and getting some things put up and hopefully get a couple of things decorated. Cross my fingers on that. I'm crossing my fingers. Anyways, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I am so sorry my voice was like awful throughout this entire thing. Cross your fingers, hope that it gets better. I hope it does. I hope it does get better for me. But it was so great to be back into my room to start getting a couple of things set up and start kind of thinking through how we're going to be doing things next year, because next year is going to be very, very new for all three of us. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you are so excited about, you know, new classroom setups and the new classroom ideas and the themes that we have going on. Give it a thumbs up if you like them. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below for any questions, or, you know, bye.